What makes a movie one of the greatest ever made? Is it the performances, the directing, the technical achievements, or is it something much harder to define, its ability to stand the test of time? Welcome to the AFI Countdown, where we're working our way from number 100 all the way to number 1 on the American Film Institute's list of the 100 greatest American movies ever made. Along the way, we'll look at why these films earned their place in cinema history, whether they still deserve it, and what modern audiences can still learn from them. If you'd like to follow the entire countdown in book form, I've also written 100 to 1, counting down the American Film Institute's top 100 movies of all time. You'll find a link to it in the description below. Let's begin with number 100, Ben-Hur. Released in 1959 and directed by William Wyler, Ben-Hur represents the absolute peak of Hollywood's biblical epic era. It's a movie that feels almost impossible today, not because of its story, but because of its sheer scale. Everything about Ben-Hur was enormous. The sets, the costumes, the cast, the ambition, and perhaps most famously, that chariot race. On the surface, Ben-Hur tells the story of Judah Ben-Hur, a wealthy Jewish prince living under Roman occupation. After being betrayed by his childhood friend Messala, Judah loses everything. He's falsely accused, sent into slavery, separated from his family, and forced to survive years of unimaginable hardship. Naturally, his overwhelming motivation becomes revenge. But what makes Ben-Hur more than just another revenge story is that revenge isn't where the film ends. Running quietly alongside Judah's journey is another story, the life of Jesus Christ. Although Jesus never becomes the film's central character, his influence gradually transforms Judah's understanding of justice, forgiveness, and redemption. It's an unusual structure, one that gives the movie surprising emotional weight beneath all the spectacle. By the late 1950s, Hollywood was in trouble. Television had become enormously popular. People weren't going to the movies as often. Studios needed experiences audiences simply couldn't get at home. Ben-Hur became MGM's answer. At roughly $15 million, it was the most expensive movie ever produced at the time. Adjusted for inflation, that's well over $100 million today. If the movie failed, it might have destroyed the studio. Instead, it saved it. If you've never seen Ben-Hur, you've almost certainly seen clips from one sequence, the chariot race. Even today, more than 65 years later, it's breathtaking. The sequence lasts nearly 9 minutes. It took 5 weeks to film, used approximately 15,000 extras, and was shot on what was then the largest movie set ever constructed. What's remarkable isn't simply the scale. It's that almost everything you're seeing is real. Real horses, real chariots, real stunt performers, real danger. There are no digital effects, no computer-generated crowds, no safety harnesses hidden by CGI. Just meticulous planning, extraordinary stunt work, and filmmaking craftsmanship that still holds up remarkably well. Even in an age of superhero blockbusters, the chariot race remains one of cinema's greatest action scenes. One of my favorite artistic choices comes from how the film depicts Jesus. You never clearly see his face. Instead, the camera keeps him partially hidden, usually from behind or at a respectful distance. It's a simple decision, but an incredibly effective one. Rather than asking Charlton Heston to compete with another leading performance, Jesus becomes almost symbolic, a quiet presence whose influence is felt more than directly shown. Ben-Hur would go on to win 11 Academy Awards, setting a record that stood for decades. Only Titanic and The Lord of the Rings: The Return of the King have ever matched it. More importantly, it demonstrated what Hollywood could accomplish when craftsmanship, practical filmmaking, and ambitious storytelling all came together. It's also something of the last great biblical epic before Hollywood began changing dramatically throughout the 1960s. In many ways, Ben-Hur marks the end of one cinematic era just before another began. Modern audiences may find parts of Ben-Hur slower than contemporary films. The pacing is deliberate, the performances occasionally feel theatrical, its runtime demands patience. But I think that's part of appreciating film history. Not every great film moves at today's pace. Sometimes a classic asks us to slow down and meet it where it is. When you do, it's difficult not to admire what Wyler and his crew accomplished. Personally, I'd give Ben-Hur an 8 out of 10. There are moments where its age certainly shows, but the ambition, the craftsmanship, and especially the emotional journey from vengeance to forgiveness make it much more than a historical spectacle. In fact, I think its placement at number 100 feels surprisingly low. If nothing else, its influence on filmmaking alone probably deserves an even higher ranking. If Ben-Hur leaves you wanting more historical epics, I'd recommend Spartacus, made in 1960, Lawrence of Arabia from 1962, or, if you'd prefer something more modern, Gladiator from 2000. You can also see echoes of Ben-Hur's practical action filmmaking in unexpected places, including the John Wick series, which similarly emphasizes carefully choreographed physical stunt work over spectacle for its own sake. So that's our journey to number 100 on the American Film Institute's list of the greatest American films ever made. The countdown has officially begun. Do you think Ben-Hur deserves a place on this list? Should it be higher? Lower? Or would you replace it altogether? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss the next stop on our journey through the AFI Top 100. And if you'd like to explore the entire countdown in book form, be sure to check out 100 to 1, Counting Down the American Film Institute's Top 100 Movies of All Time. I've included a link in the description below. Until next time, 99 films remain. Let's see where the countdown takes us.